I came home exhausted and didn't feel like socializing, so my wife's friends called me antisocial. I went to my room to rest, but overheard my wife telling them she wished she'd married someone else and wanted to leave me. That I found myself in a nightmare, starting with a grueling day at work. 12 hours under a scorching 95-degree sun, a delayed concrete pour, and unexpected foundation work left me caked in dust, drenched in sweat, and aching all over. All I wanted was a shower and 5 minutes of peace. But peace wasn't on the menu. Walking through my door, I found my wife, Adriana, entertaining 3 friends, Fiona, Gina, and Jane. The wine was flowing, music was playing, and their sudden silence when I entered screamed that I'd interrupted something. Adriana's strained, "Oh, hey babe, remember Fiona, Gina, and Jane?" was a weak attempt at normalcy. Too tired to do more than nod. I just wanted to get upstairs and wash off the gritty concrete. That's when Fiona, always with that superior smirk, cut in. "Wow, not even going to join us for a drink. That's pretty antisocial." I stood there reeling. I'd been on the job since 6 a.m. I was filthy, exhausted, and just wanted to clean up. But Adriana's embarrassed glance fueled a slow burn of anger. Why should I have to perform for these people after working my tail off all day to pay for this house they were now enjoying? "Yeah, I'm going to pass tonight. I'm pretty beat," I said, heading for the stairs. But Gina chirped, "That's so rude. We hardly ever see you." Jane chimed in, "Adriana was just telling us how you never want to socialize anymore." My face burned. What had Adriana been telling them? I spun around, my exhaustion giving way to irritation. "Look, I work 60 hours a week. I'm covered in concrete dust. I haven't eaten since lunch. Maybe cut me some slack here." Fiona's fake laugh grated on my nerves. "There's always an excuse with you, isn't there?" That did it. "Excuse me, I don't think working to support my family is an excuse." Adriana quickly intervened, her voice condescending. "Okay, everyone, let's just calm down." But her eyes were on me, as if I were the problem. Fiona wouldn't let it go. "You know what? This is exactly what we were talking about before you got home. You're always so defensive and angry." What were they talking about? And why was my wife discussing our marriage with her friends? I looked at Adriana. "What exactly were you talking about?" Her face went blank. "Nothing. We were just chatting." I knew she was lying. Her friends just watched, enjoying the show. "Fine," I said. "I'm going upstairs." I showered, hoping that would be the end of it. But I could still hear their chatter and laughter, and it gnawed at me. I was certain they were talking about me, making jokes. After my shower, still hungry, I walked past the living room to make a sandwich. They fell silent again. Fiona mumbled something that made the others snicker. I ignored it, but then I heard Adriana's voice, always in a bad mood, never wants to do anything fun. Was this what my wife truly thought of me? Was this what she told her friends? I took my sandwich to the bedroom, put on Netflix, and tried to tune them out. But our thin walls carried every word. That's when things escalated. "Fiona, I don't know how you put up with it." "Gina, he's always so moody and hostile." "Jane, that's not normal behavior for a husband." I sat there stunned. These people knew nothing about me or my marriage, yet they were judging me in my own home. Then Adriana's voice. "You guys don't understand. It's gotten so much worse lately. He's become really controlling, and he gets angry over everything." I nearly choked on my sandwich. Controlling? Angry? I work all day and try to stay out of everyone's way. Fiona declared, "That sounds like emotional abuse to me." My heart sank. Gina agreed. "Yeah, that walking away thing he just did? That's manipulation." Manipulation? Going upstairs to shower was manipulation? Then Adriana, my wife of 4 years, dropped the bomb. "Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I'd married someone different, someone who actually wants to be part of life instead of just existing in it." I put my sandwich down, feeling nauseous. "Jane, you deserve better than this." "Fiona, you need to think about whether this is the life you want." Adriana sighed. "I know. I think about it all the time. He's just so negative and toxic, and I feel like I'm walking on eggshells all the time." I sat there, staring at the wall, for what felt like an eternity. When did I become this terrible person? I pay the bills. I don't cheat. I don't drink too much. I don't hit her. I thought we were happy, or at least okay. Later, as their voices grew louder, fueled by more wine, Fiona's slurred accusations began. "He probably monitors your phone. Does he control the money? Adriana confirmed. Well, he does handle all the finances. Of course I did. She hated dealing with bills. Gina spoke of classic signs of abuse, and Jane urged, you need to document everything. It hit me. They were discussing me like a criminal, and my wife was letting them paint me as an abusive monster for simply coming home tired and wanting a shower. I couldn't take it anymore. I put on headphones, but the accusations echoed. Adriana's words about wishing she'd married someone different replayed in my mind. How long had she felt this way? Had our whole marriage been a lie? They finally left around 11 p.m. Adriana came upstairs, acting as if nothing had happened, asking if I was okay. I just said I was fine, too numb to respond truthfully. But as I lay there, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being set up, that Adriana had been bad-mouthing me to her friends to justify whatever she was planning. Was I wrong for wanting space from them? The next morning, unable to shake the dread, I went to work, but my mind was elsewhere. My foreman, Frank, noticed my sloppiness and told me to take the afternoon off. I arrived home around 2 p.m. to find Adriana's car gone, but voices echoed from the living room. It was Fiona and Gina, sifting through papers at my kitchen table. They jumped when they saw me. Oh, we didn't expect you home so early, Fiona stammered. Where's Adriana? What are you doing here? I demanded. Gina nervously explained. She gave us a key. We're just waiting for her. A key? Without telling me. Waiting for her for what? Fiona's attitude returned. That's between us and Adriana. My gaze fell on the spread out papers, bank statements, pay stubs, even our house documents. Are those my financial documents? I asked, my voice rising. Gina tried to cover them. We're just helping Adriana with some things. I walked over. What the hell is this? Fiona stood up. You need to calm down. Calm down. They were rummaging through my private financial information in my house without my permission. Get out. Both of you right now. Gina refused. We're not leaving until Adriana gets here. Yes, you are. This is my house, and you're going through my personal documents without permission. Fiona got in my face. This is exactly what we're talking about. You're being aggressive and controlling. I'm being aggressive? You're in my house going through my bank statements. I shot back. Adriana has every right to access this information, she retorted. Adriana has access to everything. She's on all the accounts, I countered, but you two don't. Gina piped up. We're helping her understand her options. That's when it hit me like a gut punch. They were helping her prepare for divorce. Get out now, or I'm calling the police. Fiona laughed. Go ahead, call them. They'll want to hear about how you're threatening us. I'm not threatening anyone. I'm telling you to leave my house. Just then, Adriana walked in, her face paling as she took in the scene. Gina immediately spun a lie. He came home early and started yelling at us. Adriana looked at me. Why are you being so hostile? Adriana, why are your friends going through our financial documents? I asked. She became defensive. I can share whatever I want with my friends. Our bank statements and mortgage papers without discussing it with me first? Fiona chimed in. See? He's trying to control what you can and can't do. I'm not trying to control anything, I argued. I just want to understand why my private financial information is being shared with people who aren't part of this marriage. Because I needed help understanding our finances, Adriana said. You could have asked me. I would have explained anything you wanted to know. I exclaimed. Right, like you explain anything, she scoffed. You just handle everything yourself and expect me to trust you. When did asking me about our finances become impossible? Adriana, you've never asked me about money that I didn't answer. Fiona cut in. That's what every controlling husband says. Gina started gathering papers. We should go. But Adriana told them to stay. No, they should go, I insisted. We need to talk about this privately. Adriana's next words hit me hard. I don't want to be alone with you when you're like this. Like what, Adriana? I pressed. What am I being like? You're being aggressive and scary. Looking at the three women, their faces portraying me as some dangerous animal, I realized they had already judged me. I'm going to go for a drive. When I come back, I want them gone. So we can talk. As I turned to leave, Fiona sneered, running away again? That's mature. I snapped. You know what, Fiona? You've been talking trash about me in my own house for 2 days now, and I'm sick of it. There it is, the real you. Coming out, she gloated. Adriana pleaded, please don't yell. I'm not yelling. I warned. I'm trying to understand why my marriage is being discussed and dissected by people who don't even like me. Gina said, "We like you fine, we just think Adriana deserves better." Based on what? I countered. "You don't know anything about our relationship." Fiona declared, "We know enough." I looked at Adriana. "Is this what you want? You want your friends to decide what's best for your marriage?" She remained silent. That's when I knew her mind was made up. "Fine, I'm leaving. Figure out whatever you need to figure out." I grabbed some clothes. As I came back downstairs, they huddled, whispering, then stopped when they saw me. "Adriana, we need to talk tomorrow when you're ready to have an actual conversation." Fiona interjected, "She doesn't have to talk to you if she doesn't want to." "Actually," I said, "she's my wife. So, yes, we do need to talk." Fiona turned truly venomous. "Not for long if she's smart." "What's that supposed to mean?" I demanded. "It means she's finally seeing you for what you really are." I looked at Adriana. "Is that how you feel?" She wouldn't meet my gaze. "I think you should stay somewhere else tonight. This is my house too." I argued. Gina chimed in. "Maybe legally, but she doesn't feel safe with you here." "Safe from what? What exactly do you think I'm going to do to her?" Fiona stated, "We've heard the stories." "What stories?" Adriana finally looked at me. "Just go, please." So I left, heading to a hotel, replaying Fiona's words. "We've heard the stories." What stories had Adriana been telling? When did our marriage become something she needed to escape? I called her this morning, but no answer. I texted, asking to talk. She replied, "I need space. I'll call you when I'm ready." I'm lost. I feel like I'm being tried and convicted for crimes I didn't commit. My wife won't speak to me, and her friends treat me like a danger. Is this as insane as it feels? The next morning, I couldn't stay in that hotel. I drove to Adriana's work, hoping a private conversation could fix things. I waited until her shift ended. When she saw me, her face fell, replaced by fear. "What are you doing here?" she asked, entering my truck. "Adriana, we need to talk. This is getting out of hand. I told you I needed space. It's been 3 days. How much space do you need to think about our marriage?" She glanced around nervously. "Fine, but not here." We found a quiet corner in a coffee shop. I reached for her hand, but she pulled away. I knew this was bad. "Adriana, I heard what you said to your friends about wishing you'd married someone different. I need to understand where that's coming from." She wouldn't look at me, stirring her coffee. "I was just venting." "That didn't sound like venting. That sounded like you've been thinking about this for a while." She finally looked up. "Maybe I have." My world crumbled. What did I do? What happened to us? "It's not about what you did. It's about who you are." "Who am I, Adriana?" I asked, completely bewildered. Tears welled up. "You're just so angry all the time, and you shut me out, and I feel like I'm living with a stranger." "Angry about what?" "Shutting her out how?" "We watched TV together every night, talked about our days. I thought we were fine." "Can you give me an example?" "Like the other night with my friends. You were so rude and hostile. I was tired. I worked 12 hours and came home dirty and exhausted." "That's what I mean. There's always a reason, always an excuse." "Working 12 hours isn't an excuse, it's reality." She shook her head. "You don't get it." "Then help me get it. Tell me what I'm missing." "You control everything. The money, what we do, who we see." What was she talking about? She had access to all our accounts. She usually decided our weekend plans. "Adriana, you have your own debit card. You can spend whatever you want." "How is that controlling?" "But you handle all the bills, and you get upset if I spend too much." "I get concerned when we're over budget. That's not controlling." "See, you're doing it right now, making me feel bad for how I feel." "I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm trying to understand." But she just shook her head, as if I was proving her point. After a silence, she said, "I think we should separate for a while so I can figure out what I want." "What about counseling? What about trying to work on this?" "I don't think counseling will help." "Why not?" "Because you'll just manipulate the counselor like you manipulate me." I nearly spat out my coffee. Manipulation? When have I ever manipulated? You. All the time. Like when you get quiet and moody when you don't get your way. I get quiet when I'm tired or stressed. That's not manipulation. But her mind was clearly made up. Her friends had convinced her every action of mine was abuse. "Adriana, do you really think I'm abusive?" She hesitated. "I think you have controlling tendencies." "That's not what I asked." "I don't know, maybe." maybe shattered me. If my own wife thought I might be abusive, what was the point of trying to save this marriage? If you really think that, then maybe we should just get divorced. She started crying harder. Maybe we should. That's when I knew it was over. She didn't even try to deny it. After a few more minutes, she said she'd stay at her sister's. What about our house? I asked. I don't know, we'll figure it out. I drove her back to her car. She got out. I'm sorry. For what? For everything. Then she was gone. I went back to the hotel, feeling my life had just ended. My phone rang. An unknown number. A cop. Domestic dispute complaint. What domestic dispute? Someone reported you harassing your wife and making threats. I haven't made any threats. I just had coffee with her an hour ago. He needed a statement. I told him my hotel. 2 cops arrived. They were decent, letting me explain. I told them about the separation, the coffee meeting. They took notes, asking if I'd ever hit or threatened her. Absolutely not. Sir, we have to ask, have you been going through her personal belongings or monitoring her phone or computer? No, why would I do that? The complaint mentioned controlling behavior. I explained finding her friends going through our financial documents. They exchanged glances. So you're saying she gave them access to your joint accounts? Apparently. They asked more questions, then said they saw no criminal behavior but advised me to stay away from my wife for a few days. I was already in a hotel. After they left, I called my brother. Dude, you need a lawyer right now. For what? She's building a case against you. Divorce, alimony, maybe claiming abuse for more assets. I hadn't even considered that, but it made sense with her friends looking at our finances. This morning, my divorce lawyer said Adriana had probably been planning this for a while, and her friends were gathering evidence. He said the police report, even without charges, could paint me as unstable. I needed to be careful. I'm meeting him tomorrow to file papers. If I don't file first, she might get a restraining order or claim I'm hiding assets. I keep thinking about her, maybe, when I asked if she thought I was abusive, wondering how long this was planned, and if our marriage was ever real. My lawyer said her friends accessing our finances was actually good for me. It showed premeditation, not spontaneous. Abuse. I can't believe this is my life. I can't believe I'm writing this, but my life just exploded again. Yesterday, I left the hotel, determined to talk to Adriana at her work. When she saw me, her face drained of color. She looked terrified. What are you doing here? She asked, getting into my truck. Adriana, we need to talk. This is out of hand. I told you I needed space. It's been 3 days. How much space do you need? She glanced around, then said, Fine, but not here. We drove to a coffee shop. I tried to hold her hand. She pulled away. I knew this was bad. Adriana, I heard what you said to your friends about wishing you'd married someone different. I need to understand. She stirred her coffee. I was just venting. That didn't sound like venting. That sounded like you've been thinking about this. She finally looked up. Maybe I have. My world imploded. What did I do? What happened? To us. It's not about what you did. It's about who you are. Who am I, Adriana? Because I don't know anymore. She started crying. You're just so angry all the time, and you shut me out, and I feel like I'm living with a stranger. Angry about what? Shutting her out how? We watched TV, talked every night. I thought we were fine. Can you give me an example? Like the other night with my friends. You were so rude and hostile. I was tired. I worked 12 hours, came home dirty and exhausted. That's what I mean. There's always a reason, always an excuse. Working 12 hours isn't an excuse, it's reality. She shook her head. You don't get it. Then help me get it. You control everything. The money, what we do, who we see. What was she talking about? She had full access to accounts. She picked our weekend plans. Adriana, you have your own debit card. You can spend whatever you want. How is that controlling? But you handle all the bills, and you get upset if I spend too much. I get concerned. When we're over budget, that's not controlling. See? You're doing it right now, making me feel bad for how I feel. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm trying to understand. But she just shook her head, as if I was proving her point. She broke the silence. I think we should separate for a while so I can figure out what I want. What about counseling? I don't think counseling will help. Why not? Because you'll just manipulate the counselor like you manipulate me. I nearly spit out my coffee. When have I ever manipulated you? All the time. Like when you get quiet and moody when you don't get your way. I get quiet when I'm tired or stressed. That's not manipulation. But her decision was final. Her friends had poisoned her mind. Everything I did was now abuse. Adriana, do you really think I'm abusive? She hesitated. I think you have controlling tendencies. That's not what I asked. I don't know, maybe. That, maybe, was a punch to the gut. If my own wife thought I might be abusive, what was left? If you really think that, then maybe we should just get divorced. She cried harder. Maybe we should. That's when I knew it was truly over. She said she'd stay at her sister's. What about our house? I don't know, we'll figure it out. I drove her back to her car. She got out. I'm sorry. For what? For everything. She was gone. Back at the hotel, my phone rang. An unknown number. A cop. Domestic dispute complaint. What domestic dispute? Someone reported you harassing your wife and making threats. I haven't made any threats. I just had coffee with her. He needed a statement, asked my location. 2 cops arrived. I explained everything. They took notes, asked if I'd hit or threatened her. Absolutely not. Sir, have you been going through her personal belongings or monitoring her phone or computer? No, why would I do that? The complaint mentioned controlling behavior. I explained about finding her friends with our financial documents. They looked at each other. So you're saying she gave them access to your joint accounts? Apparently. They found no criminal behavior, but advised me to stay away from my wife. After they left, I called my brother. Dude, you need a lawyer right now. For what? She's building a case against you. Divorce, alimony, claiming abuse for more assets. It made sense. My divorce lawyer confirmed she was planning this, her friends gathering evidence. The police report, even without charges, could be used against me. I needed to file first to prevent a restraining order or false claims of hidden assets. I keep thinking about her, maybe, when I asked if she thought I was abusive, wondering how long she'd planned this, and if our marriage was ever real. My lawyer said her friends accessing our finances was actually good for me. It showed premeditation. This is my new reality. I'm writing this for closure, as the divorce is final. After the arrests and false charges, Adriana pleaded guilty to filing a false police report, 6 months probation, community service, and a fine. Fiona got the same, plus restitution for my legal fees. Gina wasn't charged, but I suspect she was in on it. The divorce dragged on. Adriana kept claiming abuse, even after her conviction, but my lawyer shut it down. She got almost nothing, her car and personal belongings. She had to split legal fees, despite mine being higher due to the criminal case. She signed a paper promising never to claim abuse or contact me again. I got the house, most savings, and my retirement account remained untouched, with no alimony. Rare, my lawyer said, but the judge was furious. The strangest part, Adriana's sister apologized weeks before the divorce, claiming ignorance of the plan. She only told Adriana to call the police because she believed her. Adriana had been complaining for months, painting me as a controlling husband, and her sister and mom encouraged her to leave, but never thought she'd invent abuse. I asked when Adriana started complaining. It was after we bought the house, and she realized my income and our assets. That's when she started claiming I was controlling and restricted her access to money. Total nonsense, as she knew our finances and had her own cards. I guess she thought playing the victim would get her more. Her sister said Adriana's living with their mom, working retail, and telling people I ruined her life. I said she got herself arrested. Her sister nodded. I know, but Adriana doesn't see it that way. She still thinks she was justified because you were emotionally abusive. I asked what emotional abuse. Working too much, not wanting to socialize, handling the finances, all the stuff her friends convinced her was abuse. Adriana probably still believes she was the victim. It's crazy how people rationalize their bad decisions. I'm doing well. Work's good, got a salary bump. Ironic, since Adriana could have had half if she'd just asked for a divorce. My family and coworkers never believed the abuse claims. My foreman even wrote a character reference. I still get angry thinking how close I came to losing everything. Even prison, for something I didn't do. But mostly, I'm relieved it's over, and I found out who Adriana truly was before we had kids. I never figured out exactly when she decided to leave or plan the fake abuse, but it doesn't matter. She's not my problem anymore. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I'd stayed downstairs that night, but she was probably planning to leave anyway. People who lie to police and fake domestic violence aren't good people. I'm better off without her. Thanks to this community, I didn't accept I was the problem. You literally saved me.